Good morning, everybody. It's great to see this room full of interested people in wells, and we're going to talk, like Steve said, about the Water Well Trust. I think to start this off, the best way for you to learn what the Water Well Trust does is by watching our videos and see our clients speak about the work that we do.
When we think of having to haul water, we think of developing countries, where people often walk miles to get fresh water. Here in the United States, we take for granted that when we get up in the morning and turn on the tap, we will get safe drinking water. But for many Americans, this is not the case. Millions of Americans have unsafe drinking water in their homes, or no water at all. The Water Well Trust is a new 501c3 organization whose mission is to provide wells to those families in the United States that do not have access to a safe drinking water supply in their homes. We do this by rehabilitating existing wells or constructing new ones. These wells provide safe drinking water to low-income and minority households, usually in rural areas where wells are the affordable and sustainable choice.
Now, Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley's most watched local news team. This is 5 News at 6.
The wish for a water well came true for some families in Avoca. For almost 2 decades, families on Posey Road have been hauling water to their homes. Recently, thanks to a national nonprofit, they will no longer have to do that anymore.
For almost 2 decades, families out on Posey Road in Avoca have been hauling water to their homes. The families believed their homes would have access to a public water supply, but the lines were never built. Water Well Trust went out there and is drilling wells for 6 families.
Here in Northwest Arkansas, we're very blessed to have a lot of water. We have springs, abundant groundwater, abundant surface waters, lakes, streams. However, it's unfortunate with all that water that a lot of people don't have access to clean, fresh drinking water. I was contacted to assist with finding the septic systems on these properties so that they could know where to drill the wells.
We've been without water for 17 years. I've been hauling water that long. You have to be real conservative. You have to take shorter baths. You have to make sure the dishwasher is completely full before you run the dishwasher. I have a 450-gallon tank that I place in the back of my pickup truck. We take it 6.2 miles from here, and once it's full, it's 3,200 plus pounds, and I drive back here to my water tank that's in the ground over here and unload. And I do that 3 times a week. This road here has been 12 to 14 inches underwater during rainy season. This road doesn't get serviced by the county during the wintertime. I've had some close calls on this hill because of my water tank. People have crashed and killed themselves. You really have to watch what you're doing here hauling water.
Hauling water is dangerous. The added weight in the back of a truck can shift and cause the driver to lose control of the vehicle. This is especially true when weather conditions such as rain, snow, or ice are present.
I am so grateful that it's not going to happen anymore. What I do is I take the lid off and I insert the hose. 8, 9.
Hauling water is expensive. According to one Water Well Trust client, over the 17 years he has been hauling water, he has used 26,928 quarters, gone through 3 pickup trucks because of the wear and tear from hauling, and has spent over $8,000 on gas for these trips, totaling over $30,000 spent on just getting water.
The water falls out of their line into a funnel, and then it becomes my water. So I just turn around and I have time on my hands and I just sit back and wait and just have a seat in the truck.
We've been hauling water for 16 years. They said that we would have residential water here in 3 years, but it just never happened.
In many of these rural areas, the expense to run public water supply lines is prohibitive for both the water district and the residents who would then have to absorb the cost. For this Arkansas project, the Water District Number 1 estimated it would cost over $1 million to run lines to these homes.
I've got to haul this tank about once a day, and sometimes that ain't enough. It's something we just desperately needed is water.
I've lived in my home without water for 8 years. My husband has to haul water in a truck. He drives 5 miles each way, and he has to do this every other day. My husband will no longer have to put the tank on and off the truck, fill it, drive 5 miles, worry about, okay, don't wash a load of clothes.
We've lived without safe drinking water for about 13 years.
I believe that there's about 150 families down here that haul their own water. This would be great if we could get it going and they could benefit from it too.
The residents of Hitchcock Road came to the Jones County Board of Commissioners back in 2002 about that there was some contamination with some wells. Our engineer that had looked at this project determined that it was going to cost $100,000 to run that line and then to connect all of these citizens that needed assistance on Hitchcock Road.
We've been trying to get water up here for maybe 15 years. I have to buy my water and I store it in my kitchen.
My mother has had problems with her water for the past 5 to 6 years. My mom has to go to the grocery store, purchase about $30 worth of water a week, sometimes 50.
You can't take a bath, you know, you got to pour bleach down your water. The water's contaminated.
The Water Well Trust Fund got involved with this. They will be drilling their wells and providing them with a home well system that will be their well system. The Department of Community Affairs looked at this project, and what they have decided is that they could use this as a model for the rest of the state of Georgia.
When my mom's get this new well, life is going to be a whole lot better. It's going to be a whole lot better for her.
Oh, the new well, it'll be tremendous. I can take a shower, don't worry about, you know, the water cutting off, drinking water, safe water. You know, it's not polluted, so it'll change everything.
Everybody's been fantastic. Just really surprised that you're actually helping real folks.
This is not a scam. This is something real. It's real, people, because let me tell you, I have a well. And I'll tell you what, this trust fund is fantastic. It is fantastic.
The Water Well Trust is a great program, and I'm definitely going to spread the word, and this is definitely a program that is going to be a great resource for people.
The Water Well Trust is an answer to prayer. It's not have to haul water anymore. It's an answer to prayer.
In many parts of the United States, wells are the most cost-effective solution for Americans who are living in households without access to safe water. The Water Well Trust is the only national organization dedicated to working on these issues here in the United States, and we need your help. Please donate to the Trust by visiting our website at waterwelltrust.org or sending your tax-deductible donations to Water Well Trust, P.O. Box 2399.
I won't solicit you guys. So, the Water Well Trust was first developed back in 2010. We started working on it, the Water Systems Council did, because we realized that there were lots of people living without access to safe drinking water. We work with low-income families nationwide that need safe drinking water, and there are many excellent organizations that were going to other countries and doing this work, but we realized that there were very few people doing it here in the United States. So, again, we work with people in rural areas where the extension of public water supply just absolutely makes no economic sense. According to the American Community Survey, today there are 1.4 million Americans living without access to safe drinking water. So, as I said, we started in August of 2010. 2010 and 2011, I worked with a pro bono attorney, thank you, to develop the applications, the contracts, and the criteria for the program. In August of 2011, we got our first project from a caller to the Water Systems Council Well Care Hotline. That's Marge right there. Marge and her family had been living with, same as what James had said on the video, been hauling water for 17 years. And she had actually gone to her senator, Senator Bozeman, to ask him for help. He referred her to our well care hotline, and so that's how we got notification about our first project. The criteria we developed is very similar to what Derek Jones's program is at USDA. The home must be owner-occupied, must be their primary residence. Income must be at 100% of the area median non-metropolitan income. The home must be in a rural area, less than 50,000 people, not for new construction, not for areas where public water supply is available, and is not for people who are barred from participation in federal programs. So, what are the steps? They fill out an application. We have it both online, but most folks like it mailed to them hard copy. We ask that they provide the following: copy of the deed, tax return. A lot of low-income people do not file tax returns, and so all we ask is that they just make a note of that. Proof of income, copy of mortgage, copy of most recent paid real estate tax, and bid proposals from well contractors. It's up to the client to choose what contractor they want to work with. If they don't know anybody who works in their area, we do usually go to the State Groundwater Association and ask for suggestions for licensed contractors in their area. So they fill out the application. We then draw up an agreement. Once their application is approved, we draw up an agreement between us and the client. There is an amendment process because, as you know, a lot of times when a well is drilled, the original bid does not match the final invoice. There can be a change in the depth of the well. A promissory note is issued, and once the drilling is done, the client accepts the work through a work acceptance form. He submits that reimbursement request to the Water Well Trust, and the monies are released directly to the well contractor. So again, we want to make sure that the payment process is very smooth, and so it goes directly to the contractor involved. And again, it's up to the client to choose who they want to work with. And then the client is invoiced monthly by our Water Well Trust CPA. Some clients pay, automatic payments, but a lot of them like to, again, just mail in a money order or a check. So you saw on there we did our first pilot project in Rogers, Arkansas. We knew that the Household Water Well System Grant Program existed and that we would want to eventually apply for those funds, but we also knew that we had to show that we could qualify with our experience. So again, that Jones County project was our first pilot project. As you can see, we did 5 wells, I believe, for 6 families, and this is Senator Bozeman. So he got involved with this. We were talking to him from the very beginning, and as you can see, this was at a Senate hearing that he talked about the trust and our work. And Senator Bozeman is on both the Senate Environment and Public Works and the Appropriations Committee. So it's also very important that we show him the importance of this program so they continue to fund it. We've done, not only do these projects serve to help low-income families, but you can also see from this infographic that it shows the cost effectiveness of using wells and well systems in rural locations. So you can see again, it was going to cost $1.5 million to run public water. You can see what we paid and the cost savings involved in that. Our second pilot project, which you also saw on there, was in Jones County, Georgia. Public water system was way too expensive to run out to those groups, even though they were originally promised water like the folks in Arkansas. So we drilled wells in that area, and again showed that by drilling wells and providing safe drinking water to these folks in the rural area, we are also saving everybody a lot of money. This was a really good project. This was the second one. You heard Mike Underwood, the county manager, say that they had deemed our project a model project in Georgia. So we did get contacted by another county. They had been supplying water to an outlying area they called Queensland. This was a little under-the-table agreement that had been passed through about 25 years prior when somebody's uncle was on the commission. They had a new county commissioner in there, and he said, we should not be in the water business. So they called us up, and they said they had 18 houses and 2 churches on a failing public water supply system. It was going to cost $600,000 to fix. You can do the math on that one. So the county, we worked with them. They drilled for the 2 churches and 5 rental homes. As you may recall, our criteria requires that the homes be owner-occupied. We did the other, we did wells for other existing homes that were owner-occupied. And again, a huge savings to the county and to the residents involved. So everybody's, safe drinking water for a fraction of the cost of what it would have cost to fix that public water supply system. After we did these pilot projects, we started applying for funding from the Household Water Well System Grant Program. We are in our 5th year of doing that, and as you can see, we've done quite a few wells. We did 24 in our original project, 27 in Georgia when we went back. And of course, what happens is, once you work in an area and the word gets out, even once you spend all your funds, people are still in need and people are still reaching out to you. So we went back to Arkansas because folks had heard about our original project there. We went back to Georgia because folks had heard about our 2 pilot projects there. Then we started reaching out to other areas, South Carolina, New York. We're now in New Mexico working on 21 wells there, and including one well that I just went out a couple weeks ago to see drilled, and it was going to serve 11 homes. And then we're doing a 20-well project because we're back in Arkansas again because of, again, having more and more people reach out to us, and also we want to keep Senator Bozeman happy. You are required to put up some matching funds for these Household Water Well System grants. So we do a fundraiser every fall at our fall member meeting of the Water Systems Council members. We have a golf tournament and then a silent, not silent, it's not very silent at all, as a matter of fact. We have a quite interesting, shall I say, auction, and we raise considerable funds to put towards our match for our Household Water Well System grant. This was a really exciting project we just did last summer. We worked with Watermark. Watermark is the nonprofit run by Xylem Corporation. It's a big company that's a Water Systems Council member. So we had a subdivision, their homeowners association contacted me. They had 24 households on 4 community wells that were failing terribly. They were just in terrible use. So we went in there along with Watermark, and this is another video of what happened there. So again, this one is really stupendous, okay? We rehabilitated 3 of the 4 wells. One was not able to be rehabilitated, nor were we able to get equipment in there. This Holly Ridge subdivision went straight up a mountain. So we put in additional holding tanks, 2 10,000-gallon holding tanks to give them greater capacity. They've got much better water than they've ever had. And to rehabilitate those wells, it was $47,000, $3.1 million to run public water. Okay? So again, we take the message out there. Folks need water, and in many situations in rural, low-income areas, wells are the answer. So that's what the work of the Water Well Trust does.
So we're not done. If you're looking at your Slido thing, there's a bunch of questions, and a number of you have questions. So I'm going to read the first one.
Okay.
What are the expectations of the program for recipients to maintain the well systems provided?
What we do is, Water Systems Council has a program called the Well Owners Network. And that is basically we send out quarterly newsletters to the members about what to be doing as far as maintaining their well in that particular season. So all of our Water Well Trust clients are signed up for the Well Owners Network, where they receive these educational newsletters about what they should be doing to maintain their systems. So we try to really educate them about what they should be doing.
Great. How do you handle operation and maintenance costs for wells that are shared?
There are shared services agreements that they enter into. We certainly have one, but in most states, you can find within the state a shared services agreement, so it has to be spelled out in that agreement.
How do you prioritize applications?
Usually it's a first-come, first-served basis, because to tell you the truth, if I said it was all about need, there's a lot of need out there. So usually we actually turn our applications around very quickly. We have 2 staff members who process the applications. Now, I will say a lot of times an application will come in with about half the paperwork we require. So you have to follow up and say, I didn't get your tax return. Oh, you don't file taxes? Okay. I didn't get your deed. So there's a lot of follow-up. But it's usually first come, first served, because, like I said, it's a lot of need.
Okay, and so I guess one of the differences with private wells versus a community water supply is regular testing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what about testing to ensure safe drinking water? Are there any requirements there?
We don't require it, but again, as a member of the Well Owners Network, we give them information about testing. We really push it out there in our spring newsletter, and we have a relationship with a testing lab that offers discounts to our members.
Okay, and what's the cost to the client?
Of testing?
No.
No. Okay, with the current program, we can loan up to $11,000. It's a 1% interest paid out over 20 years. So if somebody needed the 11 grand, the most they'd have to pay over 20 years is $50 a month, $50.59.
So can well owners so it's not a grant, it's a loan, correct?
It's a loan program at this point.
Can they use it to fix a well?
Absolutely. We do a lot of well rehabilitation. Mm-hmm.
And the next one is fairly long. Okay, so did your cost comparisons include just the original capital and labor, or also the cost of maintaining pipelines to public systems? As we see happening everywhere, this infrastructure degraded over time and requires funds to maintain.
No, we did not include maintenance of the public water lines in those numbers. What it was how much it would cost to actually run the lines to the area and include the hookups for all the houses.
Okay, I think the rest of these questions we'll get to later. I think we need to move on.
Okay.
And so, Margaret, thank you very much.
Thank you.